use this opportunity to greet His Majesty Otumfuo Tutu and all our NDC people, especially the people of Meshia South. I joined them yesterday for a massive walk, and my own sister, Madame Amonu Jemfua Yasantua. It was such a massive turnout, and so we pray that victory will smile upon us, and we should all get our loins. The signs are looking very good, but we should not be complacent. The wind is blowing in our favor, but we cannot afford to be complacent. Coming back to the issue, yes, indeed, I suffered during that internal congress for two reasons, and issue of the election collation was one of the major reasons. And you rightly said it was difficult for me to speak, because when you are in a position of trust, there are many things that you cannot just say because there's pressure on you. You can't just, there are things that are very strategic. There are things that if you say, you would show your underbelly to the opponents and they can take advantage. So I had to swallow a lot of things. I had more than enough facts, evidence and everything but I thought of the implications, the medium to long term, and I just had to bury it. But in 2020, when I was appointed Director of Elections, I put together a 16-month program together with my team, went on a retreat in Tamale, and we presented it to leadership. And indeed, there were some challenges. So after 1 year, 12 months, we had not received any support whatsoever. So we went to Dodowa to review the 16-month program and compressed it to 4 months. So imagine if you're going to study for an exam and you need 16 months to study to write your exams, and then after 1 year you haven't studied.
That's not enough.
You know, that's it. So we compressed it to 4 months, and at the 4 months to the resources did not come on time. I cannot say specifically for tactical reasons when the resources came, but it came rather late. However, in spite of that, if we are being fair, if it was any other place, I probably should be getting an award, my brother. Because you see, I had a very, very, very short time to train 4 polling agents per 40,000 almost, because the electoral areas, the polling stations are 38,622. But in some cases, we train more people. So 4 times 40,000, around about 160,000 within like a month. Now, what I did was I anticipated when the delay was coming. So usually if you're going to train for 16 months or 1 year, you will use maybe 40, 50 trainer of trainers. So when I saw that there was a delay, I then raised funds myself and trained about 300 trainer of trainers. So when the money came late, even though it came late, I now was able to deploy the 300 plus people across the country. And that's how come we're able to train the people all over. And so we did give them the training. The original plan was to train them about 3 times, but we could only do it once. And so we trained them. And had it not been for that foresight to raise funds myself and do the training of trainers and expand the base, I'm sure our results would have been more disastrous. But there were some dynamics that I couldn't disclose publicly. Number 2, after the 2016 defeat, the party in good faith decided to set up an elections directorate, an IT directorate. And the IT directorate was separated from the elections directorate. And it was independent from the elections directorate. So I had a situation where I was election director, but close to about 6 months to the elections, I didn't know what kind of IT systems were in place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it took a struggle till eventually we had a joint meeting at AH Hotel, and then the IT people showed us their system. Now, when they did, I'm not an IT person, but I'm an elections person. So I observed a certain discrepancy. For example, we were using one phone for 6 polling stations, which is a cluster system. So I advised that our opponents are going to use 1 phone per polling station, so we should also do at least 1. And I have all the evidence, the communications with, the IT people were convinced that the cluster system would work, you know. And because I'm not an IT person, of course, they would have more sway. And so eventually, and that is what happened. And on the D-Day, the system slowed down. But then the irony of it is that, and then of course, there were also some people who were going about setting up parallel systems and were being financed by whoever, whilst we, the main, were not being financed. And so on the D-Day, when the system started slowing down from 10, 11, and we had a system. In fact, even though I was not the director of IT, I was able to set up the 16, in fact, it was about 18 screens at the party office. Then the IT people set some in the flag bearer's office, and then at another location as well, you know. And we set up everything. So the system, the results were coming in. But by 11 p.m., the system started slowing down. When the system started slowing down, then rather we, the election directorate, that were not funded for IT, we now had to now use the manual system to get the results. So this notion that we could not get our results, completely preposterous, absolutely preposterous.
So the NDC has its own collated
absolutely. The first time in the history of this country, we had about 99.7% of our pitch sheets. 99.7. It's never happened before. I've been involved in elections since 2000. Never. Even the EC, they've never had that quantum of, and beyond the physical pink sheets, we also digitize all of them. So if you go to the party office today, you key in every single polling station, we had it, and we did the audits and everything. Now, from that point, it went to the legal team. The legal team looked at all the issues, and they decided that they were not going to go to court based on pink sheets. Now, my supposition could be that in 2012, when the MPP went to court on pink sheets, our legal team argued against. So you can imagine a situation where 2012 you argued against pink sheets.
So it's a matter of principle.
You know, and then you come back to court and you're arguing for the opponents, they will just be quoting your own words. That is I'm not a lawyer. That's my supposition. So we didn't go to court. The strategy was to go to court based on the wrong declaration of results.
And not on collated results.
So
listening to you, so it's an issue of lack of resources, lack of logistics,
and
also
timely
some deliberateness.
Well,
because of campaign.
Well, I I'm very careful when I'm making statements. When you don't have concrete, you can speculate. You can put 1, 2, 3 together and say something doesn't add up. Okay, but you can't say it authoritatively. The important thing is that it's passed. Lessons have been learned. So what did we do? When I was handing over, I did a comprehensive report. I presented it to the party when we went to Ho, and we proposed that going forward, we should merge the elections and IT directorates. And fortunately, the new leadership, they've listened. And so now we have my brother and friend, Dr. Manibwama, as the director of IT and elections. So he has a bird's eye view over everything. And I think they're doing a fantastic work with computer and all those others. You know, these are people that I've worked with and they are very committed. So far, the training they've done like twice, getting to the third one. And we are way ahead of schedule. Again, in terms of the systems that we're going to use on the day, much improvements on what we did in 2020. For example, this phone that you're using, if you go back 4 years, it's not the same brand.
Yeah.
The brand would have improved, the processing would have improved. So I just want to assure all our people and all Ghanaians that lessons have been learned, there were errors, and those errors have been fixed. And in terms of training, we've gone way ahead of schedule, and everything is on course. So they should be assured that their votes will be protected.
Wait, you were part of the